this way. It's all good. All right, y'all. So, good morning, or whenever it is that you take this practice. Welcome to your gentle flow. It's like a chill flow. There might be a couple of spots where you try new things, all that kind of good stuff, but just a chill flow, stretch, open, move, breathe. If you want to grab a couple of blocks, those might come in handy. And then if you are following my Spotify playlist, it is Jewel in the Lotus. So that's the one we're going to use today. Turn my volume down so it's not too loud. And if you're ready to go ahead and get your music started, have at it. And then let's start off on our backs today. So in opening Shavasana, yeah? Lie down on the earth. Let your legs take whatever space or shape feels right to you. So it could be that your legs extend forward with your feet hanging comfortably open. You could take Supta Baddha Konasana, your supine butterfly pose. If that feels good in your body, just, don't overthink it. It's early, it's Friday. As you lie down on your back, start to feel things out. And if you move into something and you're like, oh man, not today, then just move right back out of it. It's all good. And then close down your eyes, relax your brows. Might have to wiggle your jaw side to side for a moment so that it softens and releases. And then wherever you are in your breath cycle, go ahead and exhale completely. Empty it all out. And then inhale through your nose. Allow for your belly to expand, for your ribs to open. And exhale either through the mouth, through the nose. Just release and empty. Inhale, let your breath rise. It travels all the way up your spine. And then exhale to relax it back down, emptying out completely. So you don't take your next breath in until you've emptied your lungs all the way. Deep inhale. And then exhale. On your next inhale, extend if they're not already extended, your legs forward. Arms reach up overhead. You can arch your low back, roll out your wrists and your ankles, like you probably heard mine just popped. And then on your exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And then you rock side to side momentarily. You can turn your face in the opposite direction from your knees so that you're getting a twist all the way from your lumbar through to your cervical spine. And then come right back through center. Let your feet drop down to the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left knee or left thigh. Give your right palm like a slide down your right inner thigh so that you gently press your knee away, creating space around your right hip socket. Perfect. Now inhale, open your arms out to a T. I'm going to bump my hips to the right just a little bit, and then exhale, drop my knees to the left for a spinal twist and turn my face to the right. I'm just kind of opening up this morning, right? So don't force it. Don't make it try to look or feel like anything. Just notice where your body naturally goes. It's the very beginning of your practice, so you've got time for all this stuff, right? We're not in a rush. And then on your next inhale, come right back through center. Let your low back come back down to the ground. Now, if you like it here, just stay. But perhaps on the exhale, you draw your left thigh in towards your chest. Nuzzle your right forearm towards your right inner thigh. But let your shoulders soften back and down. Your face is soft. Both feet baby flex so you support your knee joint. One more inhale. And on the exhale, just drop both feet back down. Open your arms out to a T. Heel toe your feet out to mat's width distance apart. And windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Right, back through center. Bring your feet underneath your knees. Take your left ankle, cross it over your right near thigh. I'm going to press my right foot down, lift my hips, slide them slightly over to the left, and then drop my knees to the right, turn my face to the left. So finding your figure four spinal twist here. Oh, there it is. I typically get a spinal adjustment twisting in this way. Breathe. Allow both shoulders to stay heavy. And then on your next inhale, right back through center. Let your low back come flat. Kind of readjust your hips. And then slide your left hand towards your left inner thigh. Let your knee move away from your body. You're creating some space into your left hip joint. You have the option to stay right there or hug your right thigh in towards your chest. Baby flex to both feet, support the knees. And then notice if the fronts of your shoulders started to round forward. It's kind of like you feel the backs of your shoulders peel off the mat. Roll them back down so your collarbones are broad. And your shoulder blades pin towards your upper back. Breathe. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, let your feet come down to the earth. Windshield wiper your knees side to side just a couple more times. Get some release out of your low back, out of your hips, all that good stuff. And then inhale, point your knees to the sky. Exhale, hug your thighs in. Slide your hands behind your thighs. You can always use your hands down on the earth, right? It's perfect. And we're going to spinal rock and roll the length of your spine. So as you inhale, you lift your hips up and back. Exhale, rock forward. Keep your low back rounded so it doesn't slap against the mat as you move. And then on your last one, just come forward to seated. Cross your feet at the ankles. I'm going to scoot my bottom back just a little bit. And then sit up nice and tall. So, I mean, you can even like put your hands, down on yourself. Like you want your sits bones to be down on the ground. So rather than kind of like being here, notice if you're rolling and rounding through your lumbar spine. If that's the case, grab a block, slide it underneath you so you get a slight tilt of your frontal hip bones forward, right? And then roll your shoulders back. Your hands can rest on your knees or in your lap. But I want a long spine. So the crown of your head lifts, the shoulders soften back and down, but your collarbones are opening. Yeah? And then if you have anything going on with your neck today, you're going to simply use this time to turn your face from side to side, get a little movement through your cervical spine, and a little stretch to the sides of your neck this way. If everything is feeling pretty good, take an inhale, lengthen your spine. On the exhale, left ear down towards your left shoulder, but try to keep your chest lifted and your shoulders back. Getting a little stretch through the side of your neck. And then inhale, bring the crown of your head back up. And exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Breathe. And then inhale the crown of your head high. Exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest. Feel the opening through the back of your neck. And then inhale, lift your chin off of your chest. And then only if it feels right to you on the exhale, let your head fall back. Stretch through your throat. And then inhale, bring the crown of your head back up, your chin back to neutral. Exhale, let's meet in box pose. So all fours. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, knees underneath your hips. I'm going to shimmy back a little bit. I'm also going to grab my little blanket here for my knees. All right. Once you're here, press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And with the inhale, drape a soft belly down. Lift your chin, lift your tail. Get a stretch through the front side of your body. And then exhale, reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back, navel to your spine. Let your head hang. Inhale, roll back through. Find the sway to your low back as your heart presses between your upper arm bones. And then exhale to reverse it. Separate your shoulder blades and tuck your tail. Inhale, roll back through. And exhale. Press your hands down, straighten through your arms, navel to your spine. And then inhale, come into a neutral spine and just find some liquid fluid movement as you exhale. Move it around in circles or stay with your cat-cow. Find something that kind of wakes you up, resonates within your body at this point. If you need some wrist stretches, the weather is so weird, y'all, so maybe it's just my age, but you might be feeling something in the joints. So, pay attention to that, right? Our bodies do respond to our environment. So just pay close attention to whatever it is that you feel. And then come right back into center. So here we are, box pose. Step your right toes towards the back of your mat and then roll forward and backward. Stretch through your right calf. Good. And then stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. On the inhale, lift your right leg. As you exhale, cross it all the way over to the left. Drop your right toes to the wood floor, to the outside of your mat. And then pull your right shoulder forward, your left shoulder back, but glance down at your left thigh. So if your left thigh and knee, hip, thigh, knee are in a diagonal, try to restack your hip on top of your thigh. And breathe. And then on your next inhale, reach your right leg up and back. And on the exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand. Lift your left knee and slide it back just a little bit. Now your hands are to the inside of your right foot. On the inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Hands can be down on blocks if you choose. Exhale, shift your hips back, straighten through your right leg and flex your right toes back towards your shin. So it's a half diagonal split. Inhale to walk it forward. Exhale to shift yourself back. Let's take this just a few rounds. You're going to move forward and backward, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but, pay attention. I feel like that's like the theme today. Pay attention. And then this next time that you come forward, stay where you are. You could roll to the outer edge of your right foot, spin your right toes out to like 1 or 2 o'clock. You can stay on your left hand. You can come down to your left forearm if that feels good. You can also take your right hand towards your right inner thigh and just go a little bit deeper. If it's there for you, reach your right fingertips towards the back of your mat. Don't grab onto your foot, but you could bend your left knee and dig your heel towards your glute. I just want you to feel this opening, right? And then slowly let your right hand come back up and over. Drop your left toes down to the ground. On the inhale, face back forward. Now on the exhale, simply bring your right knee back to your box pose and sit your hips back towards your heels for your child's pose, Balasana. Let your forehead come down. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then roll your forehead side to side. If you lost the breath, this is your point to come back, right? Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, press back up into your box pose. On the exhale, pull your belly in and up. Inhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat and start to stretch through the calf. So you pull the pit of your belly in, so you support your low back, and then you move forward and backward. So you probably feel this in the wrists, the elbows, perhaps the shoulders, as well as all of the toe pedals, the ball mounds, and your left calf, right? And then restack your joints. With your inhale, lift your left leg up to about hip height. And then exhale, cross your left foot all the way over to the right. Find the floor instead of the mat. Glance down at your right hip, thigh, and knee, straight line. And then pull your left shoulder forward, your right shoulder back. Breathe here. On your next inhale, re-lift your left leg to hip height. And then exhale, step your left foot outside of your left hand. Lift your right knee and slide it back. Your hands are to the inside of your left foot, on or off your blocks. It's up to you. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Let your heart peel forward. You might kind of lift your chin, play around with all of that. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Oh, straighten through your left leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. And we're just going to move this forward and backwards. So it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just move. Or if you're like, I really just want to hold it and stay, hold it and stay. Just move and breathe. Inhale, come right back towards the front. On the exhale, you can take your left toes, turn them out to like 10 or 11 o'clock. Roll your left knee open. Some of you will come down to the right forearm. And then with your inhale, lift your left arm to the sky. And then as you exhale, take your left fingertips towards the back of your mat. Now, only if you're into it, bend your right knee, dig your heel towards your glute, but you don't have to grab the foot. That's not even what I know that eventually crooked monkey is where you would go, but you don't even have to do all that to still get the benefit, right? And it's a very soft release. Let your right foot drop down. Your left hand comes back underneath your left shoulder. And then inhale, you're right back into this low lizard lunge. Exhale, bring your left knee back underneath your hip and find your box pose. Inhale to a cow pose, belly down, heart forward, hips high. Exhale, belly up, navel to your spine, let your head hang. Perfect. Now, if it feels right to you, holding this cat spine, take an inhale, and on the exhale, just kind of sit your hips back towards your heels. You're arching through your upper back, though. Good. Tuck your chin. And then inhale, come right back onto hands and knees. Neutralize your spine. On the exhale, curl up your toes. Lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Let your heels get heavy. And then I want you to pedal out your feet. Press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And then you'll notice if you feel like your hips are tucking, you might take a soft bend or even a deep bend to your knees. Lift your heels so that you can really take the tail, the point of your tailbone up towards the sky. So you create an apex with your body, right? A true inverted letter V. And just notice the difference, how that feels through your low back, through your hamstrings, all that stuff. And then with your inhale, soft bend to the knees so you can take your gaze forward. And on the exhale, as many steps as you need to walk your feet to your hands. You're at the top of your mat. Great spot to grab your blocks if you want them. You can have your blocks right here underneath your hands. Feet are about hip width distance apart. On the inhale, lengthen your spine. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, your belly in and up. And then as you exhale, fold yourself down. Let your head completely go. You can always grab onto opposite elbows if that feels good and just kind of ragdoll here. And then let your hands come down to the mat. On the inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, step your left foot back. I'm going to offer leaving your left knee lifted. Your left hand could be on top of a block, but your left hand is to the inside of your right foot. Now, if you notice that your left hip starts to drop down, I want you to firm up your left side waist and pull your left hip, your left glute up. Now, on the inhale, float your right arm up to the sky. You can always bring your back knee down, right? It's all good, y'all. Breathing here. Now, if and only if your left knee is lifted, you do have the option to inhale here, and then on the exhale, horizon lunge. Spin to the outer edges of both feet, all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat, and work your right fingertips back and down. Breathe. Watch your left shoulder, your elbow, your wrist. And then as you inhale, lift, spin back towards the top of your mat. On your exhale, standing split. All of your weight is in your right leg. Your hands could be on blocks, y'all. It's perfect. Doesn't matter. Lift your left leg. Spin your left pinky toe down. And drop the crown of your head down. So now getting back into your right hamstring. Let everything go. Head down. Chest towards your thigh. Take one more inhale. And then exhale with control. Your left foot down next to the right. Inhale to lengthen your spine, crown forward, tail back, belly up. And then exhale, melt yourself down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. And then it's up to you. If the hands seal, on the exhale, drop your thumbs to the nape of your neck. Now you've got to firm up that space between your navel and your pubic bone if you want to take the standing back bend. On the inhale, you lift your chest, arch your upper back, and draw a line with your elbows on the ceiling. Open up through your chest. And then inhale, bring your shoulders back over your hips, your arms up over your head. On the exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Let your head hang down. Option to take a shoulder opener. Bada Hasta, bind up your hands and work your fist up and away. Breathing here. One more inhale. And then exhale, let your hands come down. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat. I'm going to give you the option to leave your right knee lifted. Bring it down if you want. Left knee stacks over your heel or your ankle. Right hand stays down. You might have to wiggle your right foot back a lot. And then on the inhale, stack your left shoulder on top of the right. Watch your right side waist, your right hip. Breathe. Traditional drishti, your gaze point would follow your left hand, but if that bothers your neck or anything, just look towards the left side of the room, or you can even look down at your left foot. It's all good. Now, if your right knee's lifted and you want your horizon lunge, exhale, spin to the outer edges of both feet, all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat, and your left arm is a diagonal down towards the inner arch of your right foot. And then with your inhale, lift back, spin towards the top of your mat. Your hands can be on the ground or on blocks, so you do you. Exhale, straighten through your left leg. Lift your right and drop your head down. Spin your right pinky toe down. Breathe. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, place your right foot down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way to standing, arms out and up. On the exhale, seal your palms. Drop your thumbs towards the nape of your neck. Only if you're into it, inhale, lift, arch your upper back. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, stack your shoulders back over your hips, your arms up overhead. And exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your feet back and just lift into your downward facing dog. So use your core to lift your hips up into an inverted letter V. Breathing here, you can pedal out your feet. You can also take a quick child's pose if you need. You've got about 3 more breaths, so you do you. All right, y'all. On the inhale, take your right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, bend your right knee, stack your hip, yawn it open. So you're taking an open hip twist here, but watch your right shoulder. And then inhale, re-extend your right leg. Dial your right pinky toe down, close off your right hip. And then exhale, step your right foot all the way to your right thumb. Your left heel goes flat. Inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips, your arms up over your head. And stay right here for the exhale. Relax your shoulders back and down. You're in your warrior one. Draw the pit of your belly in so you support your low back. And then your right knee tracks over the heel or the ankle. Your left toes are angling slightly inward so that you catch the internal rotation of your left thigh bone. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, open yourself up. Warrior two, right side. You might have to fix up your stance so that the right heel intersects the left inner arch. Drop low, gaze to your right fingertips, and then let your pelvis, let your tail be neutral. So if you notice your right hip bone dropping down, lifting through the right, grounding through the left. Breathe. Now exhale completely. Inhale, flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Stay right here for an exhale. One more inhale when you're ready. And then exhale, straighten through your right leg. Bump your left hip back. Reach your right fingertips forward and down and take your left arm to the sky. Gaze to your left hand. Uttita Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Breathe. And then on your next inhale, find your warrior two. And then exhale, windmill your hands down. Frame your front foot. Step your foot to the back. And then soften your knees down to the ground. On the inhale, float your right arm up to the sky. As you exhale, thread the needle. Right arm underneath your left. Let your right temple, your ear, your cheek come down to the ground. Options for the left-hander, stay where it is. To reach your left arm forward towards the top of your mat and really rotate your left armpit towards your right elbow crease. Or you can wrap your left forearm around the small of your back in a half bind. Now slide your left hand back in front of your face so that you can root the palm. Inhale, float your right arm up to the sky. Circle it out in both directions, nice and slow. It's not a propeller, right? Get into your shoulder joint, your rotator cuff. And then place your right hand back down on the ground. Inhale, curl up your toes. Exhale, lift your hips up and back to your downward facing dog, inverted letter B. Inhale to float your left leg to the sky. And on the exhale, bend your left knee, stack your hip, yawn it open. You can circle it out or not, you do you. And then we're all gonna meet back in left leg long. Inhale there. Exhale, step your left foot forward, your right heel goes flat. Inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Exhale, settle in. Breathe. Feel out your right inner thigh. And then engage your right glute and your right hamstring to support the right side of your spine where that natural curvature is taking place. Your arms are up overhead. Your face is soft. Take your inhale here. And then on the exhale, open yourself up, warrior two. Probably going to have to move everything around. Lengthen your stance, bend your left knee. So dive down into your left knee. Stack your shoulders over your hips. And when you open your arms, notice if your thumbs are slightly coming forward. And then maybe take your pinkies back so that you're feeling this opening across the chest and the fronts of your shoulders. Breathe. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. Exhale completely. And then inhale, flip your left palm. Reverse your warrior. Stay for your exhale. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, straighten through your left leg, bump your right hip back. Your left hand comes down, right arm to the sky. Your left hand could be on a block. Think of your pelvis pressing forward and the back of your skull pulling back. So your torso lines up on top of your left thigh. Exhale completely. Inhale, warrior two. Bend your left knee. Open your arms to a T. And then exhale, windmill your hands down. Nice and controlled. Step your left foot back. Soften down into all fours, box pose. On the inhale, float your left arm up to the sky. And then exhale, thread the needle, left arm underneath the right. Come down onto your left ear, your temple, your shoulder. Your right hand is in front of your face, or you reach your right arm forward. Rotate your right armpit towards your left elbow crease. Breathe here. You can also take your right forearm, wrap around the small of your back in a half bind. Wherever you went, take your right hand, bring it just back in front of your face. Inhale to lift, straighten your right arm, lift your left arm to the sky, and then circle it out both directions. And then let your left hand come down. Inhale in your box pose, just doing a little standing balance practice, and then we'll bring it down to stretch. On the exhale, curl up your toes, lift your hips up and back. Now inhale here in your downward facing dog. And then exhale, walk your feet to your hands, top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and grab a block. And then place it right there in front of your right foot. And then roll all the way up to standing. Your shoulders back and down. Now, root down into the four corners of your left foot, okay? So that's going to become your base. And then your first krama, right? If we're going to break this down into pieces, is to bring your right foot on top of the block. Just kind of, well, your first one really is lift your right heel. Let's be honest, right? You're already throwing your balance off here just by coming to the ball mounds of your right foot. And then your next step is to bring your right foot on top of your block. Feel out your hips. You want them to be leveled and square. Roll your shoulders back and then pull your belly back. And then you have the option to lift your right knee up to a 90-degree bend. Now, y'all, this can honestly be where you stop. If you just need a little bit more today, we have worked the shoulders and the hamstrings. Feel free to take Utthita Hasta, loop peace fingers around your right big toe, and just straighten your right leg. But pull your right shoulder back. This is not a gentle posture at all, right? But some of you might just need a little bit more. Now, whether your knee is bent or straight, take an inhale. On the exhale, take your right leg out to the right. Breathe. So it could look like this. Knee bent, open out to the side. Now everybody on the inhale, bring it right back to center. Exhale, place your right foot down on the floor. Now roll out your left ankle. All right, slide your block over in front of your left foot. And then plant your feet down. Move down into the four corners of your right foot. First step, roll to the ball bounds of your left foot. Everything feels great? Prop your foot up on top of your block. When you're ready, firm up your belly, firm up your right inner thigh. You could have a baby bend to the right knee if you need it, but your right leg is your base, so use it, engage everything. And then using your left hip flexor, your left oblique, and your low abs, you would lift your left knee to a 90-degree bend. Now you have the option to stay here for about 3 breaths. If you want to extend your left leg, feel free to extend, but pull your left shoulder back. And then you have the option to take your left leg out to the side, straight or bent. Breathe. And everybody on your inhale, bring your leg forward. And then exhale, step it down, roll out your right ankle. On your inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, hinge forward, chest to your thighs, let your head go. On the inhale, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, step your left foot back, soften your left knee down to the ground. Now heel toe your right foot all the way over to the left for half pigeon. You do have the option, if you would prefer to do this on your back. We are going to move into some other things, so just know you might be kind of moving around, but you do you. Now your right foot is slightly flexed. Let your left hip wrap forward. And then pull your chest forward, elongate your spine, and then exhale to just come down. You're going to hold this for a minute. So just be here. It's all good. Relax your jaw, relax your brows. All right, we're going to come out of this a little bit different. I want you to walk your hands back and create like a number 11 with your arms. So your shoulders are actually over your hips. Your hands aren't going to come all the way back. And then your wrists are directly in front of your elbows. Now curl up your left toes, lift your left knee. It's just a transition, y'all, and if it doesn't work, I don't care. It's all good. But you're gonna lift your hips to step your right foot back to a forearm plank, but then just let your knees come down, your belly, your hips, all that good stuff. Your arms are still your number 11, just looking for a Sphinx pose. So stack your shoulders over your elbows, roll your shoulders back, and if you feel this at all in your low back, take the top of your pubic bone, draw it up towards your navel, and then make sure that you're engaging the base of your abdominals, right? And then pull your elbows back and your hips forward. Beautiful, y'all. All right, from here, hike your right knee up to a 90-degree bend. So some people kind of like sleep like this, right? So it's a half frog variation. Get acclimated here, and then start to walk your hands over towards the right. You can reach your left arm forward. Just kind of feel out. You're stretching through your left side body. And then gently come back through center. And then take your right palm, so that you can lift yourself up. You're going to thread the needle of your left arm underneath the right arm. Your left palm is facing up. And then take your right arm, open it out to the opposite long edge of your mat. So it's a spinal twist. So now aiming for the shoulders to go flat. It's okay if they don't. And for your right knee to kind of stay down. If it lifts, it's okay, right? And close down your eyes. Take one more inhale. Now as you exhale, just roll slightly towards your right side so that you can come onto your back. You're probably off of your mat. Press your feet down, lift your hips, and then just shimmy back over towards the center of your mat. It's all good. It's going to feel a little bit different because now you're facing the ceiling and your feet are towards what was the back of your mat, and it's not going to be the top. Hug your knees in. And then just for grins, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and it's fine. But you're going to rock and roll, spinal rock and roll, maybe gather some momentum to come to a forward fold, but a standing forward fold. So as you inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, rock forward with or without your hands. Plant your feet and dangle down. And then you inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your right foot back. Soften your right knee to the ground. You can take your half pigeon from your back if you choose. Heel toe your left foot over. And come on down. Lengthen your spine. So your inhale, pull your heart through. Exhale, melt your chest down. Your arms can either reach forward, out, or back. You're here for a minute. I'm keeping time. But just see if you can melt in. Let go of everything. All right, y'all. Find your number 11. So you're going to lift your chest. Walk your hands back or forward, wherever, depending on where they were, right? Elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Wrists are in front of your elbows. Fingers spread wide. Curl up your left toes so that you can lift your left knee, lift your hips, and lift your right knee, lift your hips, and then step your left foot back. You're not going to hold this high plank. Just bring your knees down, soften your hips down, and roll your heart forward. Untuck your toes. Now, some of you will move into a seal pose. I don't love seal, but I'll show you. Your palms press down and you lift your elbows. This a lot of times pinches into my low back, so I typically stay here. But not everybody experiences that, right? But you don't want any low pain, compression, discomfort, or pain. Low pain, low back, compression, pain, or discomfort. You want your low back to just feel like it's elongating, you're catching some traction, all that good stuff. Now from here, lift your left knee up into that 90-degree bend with your hip. So you're half frog. You're breathing. If you started to brace for impact and tighten, I want you to just relax it back down. And then if and when you're ready, you start to walk your hands, your arms over to the left and get that right side body stretch. I have to kind of pull the pit of my belly in to support my lumbar spine. And I kind of pull my right shoulder forward. And then you'll come back through to center. Arms are an 11. Press your left palm down so that you can pop your left elbow off the mat and thread the needle. Weave your right arm underneath the left. Right arm, palm faces up, and then come all the way down. Take your left arm, open it to the sky, open it all the way over towards the left. Ooh, and you're in your spinal twist. Now you're probably going to have to move around a little bit. It's all good. We're looking for both shoulders to be heavy, right? But it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, when you're ready, slowly just roll onto your back. So you're going to bring your left foot behind your right thigh. And then scoot yourself over so that you're back into the center of your mat, right? I know it's a lot. It's all good. And then once you get there, take your back to the mat. And then your feet to the sky. Your arms can open out. You can be still right here, or you can draw some figure eights on the ceiling. You might need to switch up the music to the last song, if it's not already playing that one. And then hug your knees and towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins. Take an inhale. And then exhale, round your forehead up towards your knees. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, open up to your Shavasana. Extend your legs forward. Your feet hang comfortably open, or if there's any other leg position that suits you. I'm going collapsed bridge today just because it feels good. Close down your eyes. Relax your brows. And then exhale completely. And then follow my count. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And rest. And if what you need is to stay here a little bit longer, you're going to tune me out. Stay right where you are. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on your inhale, find that full extension of your skin, of your body. One more time. And on the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. You can either roll over to the right, or you can rock up straight away into your Sukhasana, your comfortable, easy sit. Doesn't matter. And hands on your lap, on your knees, at heart center and Anjali Mudra, whatever resonates. So we take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for our bodies, for what they do for us today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. And thank you all for unrolling your mats today, at whatever time it is that you do this. It's a necessity, not a luxury. So have a great rest of your day, and namaste.